God, every time I get on this PowerPoint, there's always some typo. I meant to put class 9, and I put class parentheses. God. Let me pull up my comments on Twitch. I moved all my stuff on my phone, so now I have to find it. Okay. I can't believe March is already over. Like, I don't even think it happened. Like, I don't even remember it. And I'm on my 9th class. That's pretty crazy. I'll probably start at like always, probably like 8:05, maybe 8:06. Just seeing who's rolling in. Usually my viewer count on my phone takes like a hot minute to count people. So if you are here, say hi. I do like when people chat, and because I'm just one person talking to my computer, and even like seeing words pop up is like, oh, at least there's life out there. Someone's having thoughts. But yeah, this class is going to be different from the last two we've had. It's going to be a little bit more learning, perhaps, more me being like, this is how you can make this better, than just watching me struggle with writing. Because while in the open animation class, we went over like the overall idea of a pitch Bible. While I was writing mine, and while I was like looking at the ones that Tyler had put up, I wanted to like dissect how to make like the descriptions and like the overall idea of like what you're putting in there, the words more than just like the images and like the overall like concept, because one thing I noticed with a lot of artists, I mean, I'm an artist myself, but there's a lot of artists that aren't like, artists make stories through their art, and they make a lot of characters, and they make characters, but then they don't know how to sell them or explain them, or like they'll be like, this is my character, and I go, cool, what are they about? And then they go, here they are, and I go, please, something, give me words. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I don't think this is more for like, I'm not saying just like every character an artist has, because I have so many characters that don't have like actual stories or anything. Like, you just create them and have fun. But when you're trying to pitch something, when you're trying to sell something, when you're trying to explain a whole story, I do think pitch Bibles are helpful, explaining it. And there is, like, I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way, but there is definitely a way to make it clearer, make it more interesting, sell your idea. I'll give it like a hot minute, and then I'll start going. And then usually people show up soon, hopefully. I see that we have 3 people that are on. Hi. trying to think of things to talk about to fill the time. I have 2 months until I graduate college. That's fun. I got fully vaccinated. But the 20th. So this Saturday I'll be like, it's that time where you, it's like after 2 weeks is when you're actually fully vaccinated. So this Saturday I will be fully vaccinated. And I still will be wearing a mask. And I still will be, staying safe. And luckily, I think my sister's fully vaccinated now. My mom got her first shot, and my dad got his first shot, a few days ago. So, my family's almost pretty good. And then, because Delaware, we're pretty good at this vaccine distribution thing. On the 6th, everyone older than 16 can get a vaccine. So, literally anyone in the state can get one. And I know that, our school opened up for all students. So then everyone in my apartment will be vaccinated. My friends will be vaccinated. That'll be fun. But yeah, okay. I'll get started now. Stop talking about myself. So this is our 9th class, which is pretty crazy. What? I didn't think I'd get this far. I feel like I need to do something fun for, the 10th, class, but, I don't know what. I don't know what topic. Maybe I'll just do, a really big review, and I'll talk over everything I've said, and maybe I'll redo some things, because I know there's some, classes where, either I've been too nervous, and I just suck at, talking, or I didn't explain it well enough. I still don't like how I talked about structure. I feel like I didn't get into it as much. Maybe we'll rip into some of my old scripts and just make fun of me. But anyways, class 9. We're gonna talk about pitch Bibles. So in the last open animation class, Tyler went over pitch Bibles. I've never written any except for the assignment that is due tomorrow. So I'm working on that. But as I was looking at them, I said this before, it wasn't for those who just came in. I wanted to, talk about more of this writing the descriptions more than just the overall concept. Just writing your characters, adding a voice, looking at other examples and some of the examples that he put in there before, because he went over them pretty quickly. And we'll look at more, not just the overall feel and aesthetics and the images, but we'll also look at, we'll mainly look at the, the text and how they're wording things, what are they grabbing people with the words and the writing and all that. But first, it's Trans Day of Visibility, so I have some links, and I can put them on Twitter. I can put them on in the Discord as well. And I have this one. This one's for UK ones. I found it. I don't know how many of you are from the UK, but there's an extensive list of just different charities for different communities and different trans people. So it's not just the overall trans. It's trans Muslims, trans Black people, stuff like that. And then there's this one. This one's for Black trans people, and they're how to support them. And there's a bunch of funds as well here. All the ads are. But yeah, support your local trans people. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been all day just retweeting stuff. So if you want to find new artists, support someone. There was someone on Twitter that I saw. I can find it. Gonna look at my Twitter. I retweeted it. I have to look at. I just like followed her. Laura Knight. She is a writer, a screenwriter. She used today to show one of her scripts, which is like, you know, angels and like Bible stuff, and like, but like it's queer and like cool and apocalyptic, and I read a little bit of it and it seems pretty cool. And she has like a little like pitch thing. I thought it was really cool because you don't see many writers and like especially screenwriters do like this kind of like promo kind of stuff, and it's so hard to like, because like as an artist it's so easy to just like put out my art and just like put out a sketch and like put it on Instagram, put it on Twitter, and people will see that better. But it's harder to sell a script, and it's especially hard because half of it is like I wanna share it because I'm like, oh, this is something I did, this is a lot of like work I did, but then I'm like, oh, but what if I want to sell this? What if someone steals this idea? What if something. But yeah, like it's cool to see that. I've never seen like I mean, I guess I have, but like never on Twitter, like a pitch and like a video for a script, like to sell a script. Like I've never really seen that, so that's kind of cool. Anyways, let's break down what the open animation assignment was. So if you missed last class, if you're not a part of our open animation, you don't have to be to watch this video. This is just like, I'm kind of like stealing Tyler's words and like stuff, and then kind of like disseminating it as well. But he broke it down really well because I've always wanted to make like a pitch Bible, and he broke it down in such like a simple way. Because usually it's like, oh, like what do I add? How much do I add? And like with the assignment, you don't want to add too much because obviously no one's gonna like you're not gonna make in 2 weeks like a 60-page, like even a 20-page like thing. But it really helped, like I don't know, like him breaking it down like this. So the assignment was, so you're including what the show's about, like can you describe it, describe like the main characters and their relationships, so like make someone fall in love with these characters and like get to know them. Introduce the setting, the world, and other important information, like do you understand how the world works and feels, and then episode description. So can I picture an episode? Is it interesting? And can this story live off of just one story? Like, just like, you know, because my problem right now with creating ideas, especially like, because right now I'm just like doing original like practice scripts and just like throwing out ideas. And I've just been doing pilots, and like, my problem right now is that I see like this one concept of what can like the state of the pilot, and like I only see it in that kind of like lens, and I have like a problem with like going past that and seeing what else it can do and like the other stories that can happen within it. So I haven't written any episodes yet for mine. So I'm excited to see what I come up with later. So what's important, like tidbits for like pitch Bibles, and like what do you need to like add in there to make it interesting, to make it, you know, stand out. So for the text, what I really think is really, really important is adding voice and overall tone of your story, like what you want it to be. If it's gonna be kind of funny, you kind of want the pitch Bible to be kind of funny. You don't want it to be just serious. You have to add at least like one joke. So that should be for the description of the characters and like the overall text. So you want to add heart and make this story feel personal, or at least how does this story, why is it important to you, and why do you need it to be important to other people? Like, how do you make it important? And that can come in through themes, that can come in through just like what you think is most important about it, you know, what you put, like what inspired you, stuff like that. And also like most of it is conceptual. Ugh, I can't say conceptual. Um, and it's developmental like ideas, so it's not finished products. Like you don't have to really like make it perfect to like sell it. Um, and like what we'll see, like I'll show like a few from like the class, like uh from the open animation class and like other places, and um show you like what it's like, what that means, and like how like these pitch bibles like have obviously like they've been produced and they are like totally different, or like at least kind of different from what they really were selling. And so like in this assignment you can't really put in like too much detail, but a lot of the episodes descriptions that I saw, they were pretty big. Like they talked about like, you know, like this 3 acts kind of like what happened, like the inciting incident, how they solved it, like, and then like the ending, stuff like that. Which is like I think you can do that still within like this short assignment, but you know, um, you just can't add as much probably. You also need to understand your audience, like who are you selling that, like who is this made for? Like usually, when you're selling it to someone, you want them to know why, like who you're making this for. Either it's like for children, you know, if it's a preschool show, if it's, you know, a young adult comedy, stuff like that. You need to understand like your audience in that. And also breaking down your story into one phrase or statement that can hook and intrigue people. So this can be a log line, this can be a tagline, this can be just something that, like, just something short and sweet that like has the essence of like your story. Which I'll show you now. I have a few different ones. I haven't looked at this one. This one was the Invader Zim one, but I'll save that for later because I haven't looked at it. I just found it. Let's look at Baba Whoopsie. I used to watch the show all the time and play the game. I forget what the game was called, but like I used to watch it all the time. So of course it's not called Baba Whoopsie. It's called Wubby, Widget, and Walden. But you see here, like, this would be like the thing, like the concept. It's just like a short, like it's just the consolidation of your story. And what I really like about this pitch Bible that I really liked is that it looked like a picture book. And it was kind of written like the text is like, it's not like rhyming, but it looks like a poem. So it feels like a children's book because, you know, this is like a preschool show. And it works so well. It's so like simple, and the show was so simple. And so they're really portraying that within like not only the images but also just like the text is easy to read, and like, and just simple. Like they don't have too much about the characters. The characters aren't complex, so it doesn't need a lot. And they give the idea of just like the world here, like it's important to set up the world. So like they're not animals, they're not humans, they're just something, they're creatures, they're just imaginary beings, which is like fun. And you know, and I mean they have like, of course in the images, there's a style there. What I really like about a lot of these pitch Bibles is that they have like some original like font, which like really shows off. like the style and the feel. Like, this is cute. Like, you know, you get a little bit of him. And then here's the stories. They call it stories instead of, like, episodes. Because, I mean, they're going off of that idea of, like, storybook, which I like. And it's so, like, they have a message. Like, they really pounded in this that, like, there's a message to every episode, which is really cute. Here's Fanboy and Chum Chum, which was just called Fanboy before. So right here it says, every kid secretly wishes they could wear their favorite superhero costume to school. This is a show about the kid who actually does it. And then they go into more of like a description of like the show. But like that, like, that's what you're selling. Like, that's what, like, you would run into an elevator and then, like, there'd be, like, the CEO of Netflix, Mr. Netflix, and he's just, like, you're like, Mr. Netflix, I got a show. Did you know kids, like, want to wear their favorite superhero costume to school? Well, I got a show where the kid actually does it. And then he's like, oh, I'm intrigued. Yeah, and then they give all the characters, and I don't know, I haven't watched Fanboy and Chum Chum in years, but I don't know how many of these are actually in there, and actually, like, real, but they have episodes here, and they're just, like, one paragraph, which is, pretty easy. It's just, like, here's episodes. So, like, behave yourself. There's a new flavor of Frosty Freeze Freeze to be released at 3 after school, and Fanboy is very excited. He's practically bouncing off the walls. His teacher, Mr. Pepper, tells him that if he can't control his outburst, he will be forced to stay for extra time after school. Extra time at school? To Fanboy, this might as well be a death sentence. So, like, you see the voice in there. And the voice is going to be different for every story. If you're writing a dramatic sci-fi, like, TV show, you're not going to, like, have this kind of, like, tone of voice. It's going to be a little bit more mysterious. It's going to be, like, different. So, yeah. And I have one that isn't an animated one. I've talked about my love of Grey's Anatomy on here. I just really love the first seasons of it. And I love Shonda Rhimes. Like, I love how she writes. And I don't know, there's something, like, absolutely, like, she's just, like, a snappy writer. And she's a smart writer. And it's just, like, and you might not like Grey's Anatomy. This might not be your show. But there's something about, like, Grey's Anatomy, like, I'm not a big fan of the later seasons, but, like, I don't know, like, it's written pretty well. I really like this little tagline that's like, will they make the cut? Like, that's so, like, mysterious, and it's so, like, interesting. And then they also have this. It's like, this fall, Meredith Grey and her fellow interns discover what they are made of. And then they have a lot of, like, taglines. I mean, the show's very, like, snappy, very, like, quippy, so it makes sense that they have like, 50 different, like, just, like, snappy little things to say about it. So this is, like, I love this. Welcome to Seattle Grace Hospital, where surgery's game, surgeons are the all-stars, and the interns are exhausted. There's just something, like, fun about it, but also, like, it's a little, like, cheesy. The show's a little cheesy. But it definitely, like, I feel the show here. And if you read the scripts, this reads like the script, too. And I really like how they described it here. Like, you can put in, I wouldn't say rely on it too much, because then you're kind of stuck with that kind of description. But, like, you can put, I guess, in a pitch Bible, if you're telling people your idea, you can be like, oh, this is like Johnny Test meets I'm trying to think Johnny Test meets Boy Meets World. I don't know, something like that. And that'll be like, oh man, those are two wildly popular shows. Like, I bet that would really sell well, something like that. And then, you know, these are existing things, you can just like bounce off of them. So like here they talk about Sex and the City, which makes like a lot of sense for this show. It's around the same time period. It's around the same time period. And Carrie, like the lead or whatever, I haven't really watched Sex and the City besides the movie. But like she has her like blog or like articles or whatever. And so like there's like a narration basically, and like at least at the beginning and the end. And that's what Meredith kind of does. She's basically like the main like speaker. I've definitely heard other people like be a narrator in Grey's Anatomy, I think, but usually it's like her. So we have like the doctors and they talk about like everything. Like this is a really rich description. I'm not saying you gotta do that. But you like she was selling. Like she was like, I put in the 20-page like this is like a dissertation. And there's a lot of voice. Like it's very snappy. Like if you read this, it's just like quip after quip, like. And you get kind of like the sense of like where their goals. You see like their goals where they're like some obstacles. Like you see like here Richard's like an obstacle, which is like Meredith's like adopted father. Not like adopted, but like, you know, like a surrogate father. And so Richard like has like high standards for Derek. And and Derek wants his approval. And then also here you see like Derek's wife, and like he's very surprised to see her, as Meredith is like, you know, like that's another obstacle. And then you get episodes, which like this was really interesting. You get quote after quote, you get theme. Like I don't know, like she was selling it. You only get one episode with this. Wait, no, you get two. No, she just has posters just for fun. I'm guessing this was like already in production, and then she was like, I don't know. Like, it's just very fun. And I don't know. And it's very like well thought out. You don't have to do this, obviously, depending on your theme, depending on what you're selling. A live action show is definitely different than a animated show. And Grey's Anatomy is made off of its dialogue. Think of Wow Wow Whoopsie, which is like totally different, you know, or like the Adventure Time pitch Bible. Like these are two different things. Like they focused on visuals and were heavy on visuals. And Grey's Anatomy is heavy on dialogue. So she was selling these rich and like very well constructed like interesting like conversations and like text within like the dialogue. Like that's what she was selling with like shows like this. They're selling the visuals with like the story. We all know Fanboy and Chum Chum, like visual, like I don't know. Not saying Fanboy and Chum Chum was like the worst looking show, but it definitely wasn't like beautiful. But like, so you don't have to have visuals even if it's an animated show. But like, if that's what you really want to sell, if that's like the main point to you, you have to balance like what you want out of it. So like, do you want to focus more on dialogue, is that the most important thing to you, then you want to add more of that in there. And or you can add more dialogue. You can I lost my train of thought because I got a text. But yeah. So it depends, just like add what you want in there. It really depends on like what you're selling. That's my point. So let's look at the Invader Zim. I wasn't allowed to watch Invader Zim as a kid. There was like a handful of TV shows I was not allowed to watch because they were either too creepy or like too dark. And my parents were like, I don't know if you should be watching this. And I went, okay. So I don't know much about Invader Zim. But what I liked about from looking at the pitch Bible, like at first glance, there's a lot here. I like the font and like the little bits of like character, just like this would be their like Shonda Rhimes dissertation as animators. You get like the main characters here. And there's like a lengthy, like, I don't know, this is like a novel. No idea what this is about. But yeah, like you get like a lot of visuals and like just like, but you get a lot of text. Let's look at how they do the episodes. Or like if they add a lot of characters, which I think is interesting. Because like usually you want to focus on your main ones, and then they added like a lot of like secondary and then like all that. They added location and like the place, and like some props and stuff. And they have like main places, which is cool. And like they talk about the world that they live in, which is important. If you're gonna do like a weird world, you're like world building, you need to explain it in a little bit. That's also a struggle for me. At least for the one that I'm working on right now. The Journey for Our Lives is like, it's set in like a fantasy world, but they're all animals. But I don't know, like I really like shows, at least animated shows that are like weird ensemble kind of things, but there's like a limit to like the ensemble, like, I don't know. Like, so I don't want like humans. I don't want humans in this. So it's just like any animal, but then also I kind of want there to be like fantasy creatures, like an orc or like a cyclops, something like that. Like there's gonna be magic. It's just like fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons kind of feel. But I don't want humans. I don't know. Like I don't want to like, if there were elves, it would be like not human like elves, stuff like that. But there's like big bugs. There's big frogs, big, whatever. They talk about show structure, which I think is interesting. It's structured similar to animatics. Each episode of Invader Zim can be split up into many different sections, or have as many as one or two sections, to ensure that there is nothing dragged out or too long. So, like, if you feel like there's, like, this is something important. If you're trying to, like, if you want it to be more like a variety, or you want it to be more of a bigger branching thing, then you need to explain that. Because you're selling this, they won't, like, whoever you're selling this to, you want them to, like, understand it fully. Somehow my laptop keeps getting unplugged. That's annoying. So they have sample episodes. They're very short, but they're like kind of varying. They don't have titles, so like I'm guessing you don't have to have a title. I mean, it's really, well, they kind of do. But yeah. Let's find some more. And pitch Bibles are different from just like show Bibles or like developmental Bibles. I mean, this is just like your first initial thoughts. So like you can have a series Bible, but like that's going to be a lot different from you pitching it. Look at, I've never watched Hero, Son of He-Man, but, you look at it. This is like, what, 80s? 90s? 90s, yeah. Before Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles, before Ghostbusters and Sonic the Hedgehog, there was He-Man. This is already, like, if the tone they were going for was, like, your uncle who lived in the 80s as a child and thinks it's the best thing ever, this would be, like, the tone that they were going for. They're selling on the fact that they have a bigger thing behind it. And now there is a He-Man for the next generation, the children of the 90s and beyond, presenting Hero, Son of He-Man. Dare, a Tarzan-like wild child, becomes adopted son of He-Man. By the power of Grayskull, Prince Dare's power sword transforms him into Hero, a mighty warrior who battles Skeletor, blah, blah, blah. So basically just He-Man over again. But you do get, like, a voice from this. Like, it's definitely not, like, plain. Like, they're really trying to sell it. The backstory. Here's a little bit about He-Man. Now on to our story. So it is interesting that they go, like, backstory. I'm guessing if you do, like, I'd love to see She-Ra's. Like, how do you pitch a reboot that is so different? Like, I think, like, a reboot that, like, I don't know. Do you even, like, for most reboots, do you pitch it? Or do, like, the studio just go, I really want to make another Tom and Jerry movie? Like, I don't know. Like, how, I would love to see, like, the She-Ra's pitch Bible. If they had one, even. And if it was, like, how do you, like, do all of them go back to, like, the past and, like, talk about its original form? I would, like, it would be interesting to see that. I would like to see. But I don't know, there's not a lot of pitch Bibles, like, online. Maybe I'll look it up. She-Ra pitch Bible. They have scripts. I have story ideas. Oh, this is from the 80s. No. That's not what I like how episode 2 was just, while visiting Frosta, Bo falls into a deep crevice. And then the whole episode is just them rescuing him. And then, I don't know, that's so funny. Here's Bibles. Let's see. See, like, they're all the same ones. There's Stranger Things. This is pretty cool. Like, they really put an aesthetic for a show. Like, this is for Stranger Things, but it's called Montauk. It's an 8-hour sci-fi horror epic set in Long Island in 1980, inspired by supernatural classics of the era. We explore the crossroads where the original meets the extraordinary. So they really, like, I mean, the whole show, Stranger Things, it's like, I have not watched it. How many times are you going to hear me, you know, the one that wants to write for TV, go, I've not seen this show. But I haven't watched it. But I know the whole thing is like, this is about nostalgia, basically. And they do talk about it, which is, nice. Yeah, I'd love to see the Owl House. I'm gonna say it again, I have not watched it yet. But, I do think, like, the more, like, because, like, the series that we have right now as Pitch Bibles with Adventure Time, like, I mean, Adventure Time has, like, some story, like, arcing stuff. It can get serious, but a lot, like, how do people pitch more serious or, like, more world building children's shows, like, not just, like, problem of the day, like, fun sitcom-y kind of shows. I'd love to see The Amazing World of Gumballs. I feel like it'd just be, like, really pretty to look at, but and just, like, fun. How do you, like that, like, I feel like that show started off, like, not as crazy as it ended, but it's such, like, a mix, like, mishmashy kind of, like, show. Like, it's just, like, everything. Yeah. Um, yeah. Let's look more at this. I do really like the look of this. They have, like, um, stills from it, like, from other movies. They talk about the conspiracy. Like, this feels like an old book. Or, like, I don't know. Like, it's really, I do like this. I'm not someone that would really get into Stranger Things, but I do think this pitch Bible is so fun. Like, they really knew what they were selling, and they really sold it well. And I think this feel comes off in the movie as well. Or not the movie, but the show. But, like, it's very, like, yeah, the frame will be bold, the cinematography will be, like, if that's something you're selling, like, Stranger Things is, like, their big thing is, like, it looks pretty. Then, like, yeah, sell it. Like, if that's what you want, like, as a director, as a showrunner, yeah, focus on it. And one of the big things I think that's important about, like, the shots that they chose is that while they're not, like, their shots, they did not pick very iconic scenes or, like, images. Maybe this one would be more. But, like, they picked just very, just, like, things that felt like it, like, you're not gonna, like, watch Stand By Me and just, like, think of just, like, this image, but you're gonna, like, this is the essence of that movie in a way, and it's the essence of what they're trying to sell, which are, like, these kids. Like, this image is just, like, it's Nightmare on Elm Street, but this is not something you would, like, you personally would think is most important to, like, Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know, like, it's just, like, the feeling of it. Like, Jaws, They were really selling on this nostalgia thing. Like, I get it, but... And they, like, I like how it's, like, a literary guild main selection. Like, it's like a dollar store, like, book. Like, you get it at, like, a gas station or, like, something. Yeah, the ET scene was, iconic, but, like, you're, like, when you think of ET, you just go, oh, I like the alien guy. But they chose, like, very, like, I just think they picked, like, really strategic shots. It's very interesting to look at. We got, like, every single Star Trek. We got Doctor Who. It's all the old ones. I would love to see, like, because, I mean, technically Doctor Who was, picked up. Technically, I would love to see the, like, I guess I don't know how they'd, like, pitch that kind of thing. Like, do you always make a pitch Bible when you're selling something? Who knows? More animated TV, pitch Bibles. And then I will show you what I have so far. Not that it's anything amazing, but, you know, I do like, you know, showing what an amateur can do, you know, like, so then it's less intimidating, I guess. That you said you had 40 different ones. Where are they? Where's the list? Okay. We got all these. I don't wanna. They have. Let's see. This is a writer's guideline, so this is gonna be a little bit different. I did kind of want to show what it would look like. So, like, one of the things, I do have a slide on this. So, we kind of went over all this kind of stuff. Like, if you want, like, write a catchy, intriguing concept statement, like, state the most interesting part of your premise, give a sense of voice and tone, and then set a clear goal. But how can this help you, how can you, like, how can a pitch Bible actually help you develop your story? Even if you aren't pitching it. Like, I do think, it helps you, like, understand, like, what is most important about your story and how to clearly state what it is. And even if you aren't selling it, say you're working on a small project, say you're working on, like, a project with a few people, and you have your idea. You're the showrunner, you're the project manager, you're the one that wrote the script, whatever. You're the one mainly developing, and you just have, like, animators, you have storyboarders, whatever, on it. I think it is important that you do have kind of, like, a Bible, even if it is, like, a very short, almost like a pitch Bible, for the people that are working on your project, because, I do think it's, like, it helps you, like, you can't explain your story, like, 15 times or, like, even 5 times over and over again and get all your ideas out, and make it cohesive. I think, like, just writing it down doesn't have to have images in it. Just writing down, like, characters, like, the most important characters, overall arching idea, and, like, just, like, your main plan and source of inspiration can really help the people that you're working with, make, you know, at least, like, be on the same page as you. But yeah, this one was for me because, it helps you show how your characters actually act, because you can always, like, say, like, you can always write and just say, like, oh, this character, sucks at walking, or I don't know, just, like, something, like, anything, who hates sweaters, and then, like, suddenly you have a story and you're like, damn, he's really gotta wear a sweater, something, you know, like that, like, oh, this character's really mean, but then suddenly you're, like, writing it out, and it can be, like, you can make a mean, but then sometimes you realize writing it out, you're like, oh, maybe it doesn't work as a mean character, or something like that. Maybe this character doesn't work at all. Because you realize how much, like, I don't know, like, you're just seeing the sketch of your overall story, your overall episodes, the branching overall themes and whatever. And then you can erase the things that don't work in your sketch, kind of thing. and it forces you to think of your story from an outside perspective. So, like, how is someone else going to view the story differently from you? And what are you forgetting to write or develop or whatever that you know in your brain, but you may need to explain more to someone reading this. So yeah. Okay, let's go back to this. This is mainly like a writing style. I don't think this is a pitch Bible. I just think this is something that's like to help the writers who are writing on this and like developing the story to get the overall idea of like how it's written and like the style of it, which is interesting. This is all they have. See, these are like all the ones like you always get. I do like the Adventure Time one. It's just bright and colorful. It feels like the show. And you can like, it's hard because like we've all watched the show, so it's like you can hear it. But they really get the essence of like everything. Like the weirdness of the show, just like the randomness, but then also like the heart and like the seriousness and like all that. It is like pretty. And I do like the flow of it. It feels like a comic book. It feels like a picture book. I do like this. I don't know. It's just cute. Like they don't have to add it, but they have it. As a millionaire nerd enthusiast. Well, she's a princess. I don't know. I like there's like here she's collecting rare soil samples of crying baby dirt for her experiments on the sociology of sentient earth. She just sticks a bunch of wuss dirt in a jar with bully dirt and shakes them together, eats a sandwich, and watches them fight. Like, that's so funny. Like, why? Like, and you get like the humor of the show. You get like everything about it just in that. Let me see. Marceline. Like, what is this? I don't know, but it's great. Like sometimes even if it feels like a little like cheesy. I don't know, this aged well. You better bring a diaper for your head, as you will be crying tears of defeat, my dear. And we got, Ice King. I think Ice King was always my favorite character. He was just funny. And then they show like the land and like how different it was and how like like it feels like a storybook kind of thing. They have like concept art for like the forest and all that. And they have pretty extensive like episode ideas. Which I think just like helps you more, like if you really write a lot, but like sometimes writing a lot is too much, sometimes you just don't feel like it. So honestly, presenting your pitch, I can't help you on this. I'm a writer, not a speaker, not a presenter. I got a C in public speaking. So, and I'm not a C student, so, but I got a C in it. And, I've heard people say that they use funny voices and they wave their hands around and they like do a little comedy show. They do a little tap dance. I don't know, but I can't help you on that. So I'll show you mine, what I have so far. I have everything already drawn, but I have not finished writing everything. I'll probably finish it tomorrow because I have a little bit of homework I need to get done tonight. But yeah, let me like present it. I don't know, view. Like a focus? Yeah, okay. So here we have, okay, can I slide down? Can I go down? Yeah. So what I have so far, I think usually you can tell, yeah, so can anyone understand what kind of story the show will tell, like story-driven or episodic, by reading the pitch Bible, even if it doesn't show the type of story? I do think you can kind of tell. I don't think any. Let me exit this. Let me see. I don't think any of them really stated it. I have so many at my disposal now. Like, I mean, Wow Wow Wubsy, all children, like all preschool shows are gonna be episodic. I think usually you just can tell. I think, and usually what happens is it's usually you have the description here, you have your main description, and like your inciting incident kind of thing, and then you go, and then he will go on crazy adventures and learn new things every different episode and blah blah blah, and then for shows like this, they'll talk about, like, the building up of, like, characters and, like, how each episode has, like, a certain plot and idea surrounding it. And usually the episode descriptions will say that, and will illustrate it. They don't really say it here, but they do talk about, like, you know, structure. So, like, they have acts within it. Trying to find Adventure Time would, I don't know where they put that in here. I don't think it has to be, like, explicitly stated. Like, but I think usually you can tell. Yeah. But I'm sure, like, if you felt like you really wanted to drive in that this is a overarching story versus, like, especially if it's, like, a children's show, because it's so common to have, you know, like, the episodic within, like, children's shows. So I do think it's important to, like, maybe state it, but, you know, I don't think it has to. I think usually you can tell. But yeah, so what I have so far is that I have, like, I've been trying to figure out taglines, and then I also have, like, a short description about it, here, and then I go in, or, like, well, technically the whole description, is here, of, like, this is basically the pilot, like, here, like, the whole description. But it is, like, the inciting incident for the rest of the series, like, them going on this adventure. And then I stated a lot about what the show is really about, like, the heart of it. I have so many typos. And so, like, I have, like, you know, being a young adult is hard, and everyone wants you to make a plan. Everyone wants you to make a plan for you, blah, blah, blah. So it's just, like, getting down to, like, what it's really about. I did talk about, like, what it is, like, how this is different from, like, other young adult or, like, adult TV animated shows, about, like, finding yourself, but, like, in a cute, fun package, you know, and not, like, a gross package. And then I have, like, more heart about it, like, the 3 siblings represent, to me, 3 parts of myself, and possibly others will see them as this too for themselves. And then I have the characters, breaking them down. I have an image that I'm, like, gonna put up there that, like, breaks them down a little bit better. But, you know, I have, like, I'm not going to do like a long one, like a long description, obviously, because I have until tomorrow to do it. But, you know, I just have, you know, simple things about them. And I add, like, funny things because it is going to be, like, a funny show. And just, like, simple character models. And then I'm going to add... what I'm doing is I'm going to add 2 more supporting and characters. I'm going to add the Queen of Nethers and then the guy that's sent to retrieve Froggington. And then I'm going to add, like, conceptual stuff with, like, other characters and, like, possible characters, even though they're not, like, set in stone for me. Like, I don't have much set in stone. And then I'm going to do, episode descriptions, and I'm going to do at least, like, 3, because, like, 3 is a magic number. But I'll be finishing that tomorrow, mainly because I need to do some homework. We had a whole recoup day so we don't have spring break here, because we had an extended winter break, basically. But so we had one day off for like a mental health day, and instead, like, my teachers, like, instead of scheduling homework for that day, they scheduled it for the day after. And of course I wasn't going to do homework yesterday. So now I have homework that I gotta do today. I'm almost done with it though. But yeah. Just like, I think the main thing with pitch Bibles, in my opinion, is that it just needs to feel like you're passionate about it and that you have like a personal stake in the story. And that there's something, like, you know, that there's something interesting. You don't want to, like, of course you don't want to be, like, super, like, crazy, like, think that your story is better than anyone else's or anything like that, but you know that your story is important to tell. And you want to make sure, like, other people understand that, you know? Like, it's okay to be, like, you know, get a little, like, cheesy and stuff, if that's how you feel like you need to express it. And you can go as in-depth as you want in some parts than others. So, like, I have both visuals and text, but my show, like, I want my show to be very simple. It's an episodic. There will be, like, kind of arching stuff, but, like, mainly they're just, like, going on their, like, day-to-day thing, learning something new about themselves kind of thing. But yeah, is anyone else working on the assignment? If you are with open animation, I know, like, not many people are going to do it because it's, like, more extensive. But I think it's really fun. Like, even if, like, the thing is, like, with a lot of my stories I have right now, I'm not gonna pitch the story ever, like, for realsies unless someone's like, I really like it. If Mr. Netflix comes up to me and goes, I want to give you money, I'll go, ooh, give me money. But I do think it's a lot of good practice, and I do think it's fun to, like, have something for my portfolio that shows that I know how to develop something. I know how to think. You know, but yeah, I think I'm not going to work on stream because I'm going to finish it later. I just want to get my homework done. But, if you have any questions, any other questions? Yeah, if you want any, like, critiques, if you have one, you can always send me a message somewhere, I don't know, Discord or Twitter, whatever, Instagram, wherever you follow me, and I'll look at it if you want. You know, I don't think anyone's going to be perfect, especially for, like, a little assignment, you know. if there are no other questions, I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna do my homework, and then I'm gonna play League for like ever, because that's all I do now. Yeah, I do need to add more about relationships. That's one thing that I needed to focus more on. I'm not sure if he is strict on the 1 to 5 page, because I'm already 3 pages in. I've only gotten to 3 characters. But I mean, technically, I can make this smaller. But I don't feel like it. But yeah, totally send me whatever. I'm always happy. I love looking at other people's stuff. And trust me, I'm not that mean. I definitely said in past streams that I'm like rough. I'm not. And I don't want to be. I don't like to be. So, but I love helping other people, with their ideas and making them a little bit clearer, to show like their true potential of what it could be. But yeah, guys, I know if there's any other questions, or whatever, suggestions, anything, say them now, or not say them now, I guess, write them now. But I will sign off. Happy last day of March. Tomorrow's April 1st. That'll be fun. We're back in the void here. Oh, that hurts my eyes. Alrighty. I'll post this soon. Thank you for coming. See you in... Wait, let me look at my calendar. See you on the 7th? Wait, no. The 14th. Yeah? The 14th a holiday? No. Okay. Yeah, it's just 14th. April 14th. Okay. Hopefully I'm not busy. I might be a little bit with like homework and stuff. Because the semester is getting to that like midpoint and to the end. So, but thank you for coming. I do really appreciate it. Like the few of you that do come. And also to those who watch the YouTube recording. So thank you. See you in 2 weeks.